Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to StormWorks. Now, I know it's been a long time since I played this game. I honestly started to kind of not enjoy the game as much, but since the Advanced Systems update came out, I've kind of found a bit more to do in the game that I really enjoy. Now, a lot of the times I focus mostly on land-based vehicles, and with StormWorks being a mostly sea-based vehicles, kind of left me in a bit of a spot, but I have been doing some work on amphibious vehicles, and I do have some plans for other things, which I'm not going to mention quite yet, so do expect to see a bit more of this game coming around the channel. Now, the first vehicle I built coming back into the game, I'm not going to claim it's the best. It's been a while since I've played, and I'm still getting used to some of the new systems. So this is my Amphibious Explorer. Here it is. Now, it uses a tank drive system, and it also uses tank steering when in the water. It's honestly functional, but it has a lot of issues that really need to be worked out before I'd say it's a perfected vehicle. One thing is with controls, the steering is either really slow if you turn it down too much, or it's really sensitive, and so far I can't really find a good middle ground with it. And hopping in, just kind of take a quick look around it. It's got what? 6 wheels on each side, 12 wheels, no, that's 5 wheels, can't count. 5 wheels on each side, 10 wheels in total. It's 2 propellers, and it's all on a tank drive system, even though these aren't really tracks. Each side moves independently of the other, allowing me to both steer in water, on land, and also neutral steer in water and on land. So I can turn on a dime. It's kind of fun. Not the most practical thing ever, but let's kind of look at the controls real quick. Here's my little dashboard. You can see my battery's charged. I got fuel. Here is my on key. This turns on all of the systems throughout the whole vehicle. And since this is it's technically a hybrid, I guess. It runs off a battery, but I do have a generator which charges said battery. Right now I'm running completely off of the battery, and my charge is going down rather quickly. I do have a little charging point here if I need to, or if I have to charge the battery. Don't let the battery get below about 30%. If you do, you're going to start having issues with the generator and other major functions. I don't have any safeguard in the way at the moment. It'd probably be a good idea to add one. And let's go ahead and do the generator. The generator, simply throttle up. Start the generator. There we go. Generator's going. Now, the generator is not powerful enough to keep up with the vehicle moving at top speed. You will slowly drain your battery, but as soon as you kind of stop and wait for a minute, your charge will start to go back up. So, this is amphibious. It can go into the water. You can spawn it there at the dock rather than at the hangar if you want to. And you can also do kind of splashdown, so if you jump off a ledge, a cliff or something, you can go in the water that way. It's not recommended, and I'm quickly going to show you kind of why that is and some of the ways you can avoid it. So if you're going to go off a cliff like this and just hop straight into the water, one thing you're going to want to do as soon as you leave the cliff edge, you're going to want to let go of any throttle you're holding. So right now I'm going to go ahead and let go. As soon as I come off the ledge, I'm going to dive down. And I want to come back out. This vehicle is naturally buoyant, so it will come back out of the water. It is really hard to flip since the center of mass is very low. It's not impossible to flip. I've only flipped it once, however, in all the time I've been testing this. And as you can see, the engine is now chugging along because we submerged the intakes. I do have a button which will pump out the air inlet system so that you can get your generator back up and running. So now we're in the water, we can drive around just fine. It is significantly faster in the water than it is on land. And overall I'm happy with it. It's not got the best range, it's not the most efficient thing. I can get to, say, about these islands. I can probably go out to these islands and come back, and at that point I'm going to be running on fumes essentially. I'm going to have little to no fuel left, and I'm going to have whatever charges on my battery at the time is pretty much what I'm going to be relying on to get back home. So now we're back on land, and I do kind of want to show you why you need not hold the throttle when jumping off of cliffs into the water. It's really funny, it's really stupid, but it's not fun to deal with the consequences of. Let's go ahead and... Am I not... I'm fully charged. For some reason it feels like I'm a lot slower than I should be. Anyway, I'm going to jump off this, I'm going to hold the throttle down, and we're going to have a fun time. That time it didn't do it. Usually it does a backflip, which sends me flying and flipping through the air. That time I just shot up like a rocket. But we are right now running on our electric energy just because the engine has died. It's suffocated underwater. Pump out all the water. Restart the engine. There we go. Our generator is running again. And we can putt along just fine through the water. Like I said before, the generator isn't able to keep up with the vehicle moving at full speed. So if you just use your trim, you can set the engine to about 75, and that's about where you want to keep it when you're traveling long distances. That way the battery will charge slowly, but you're not charging so fast that you're actually just wasting fuel at that point. Now, this vehicle is capable of maintaining itself in rough seas. I wouldn't go full throttle in rough seas. I still keep it about the 75 range like it is now, or maybe even lower at about 50% throttle. Just because going over those waves can have the same effect as when I jumped off the platform, where you can shoot yourself out of the water really high, do flips, and overall cause a lot of damage to yourself and your vehicle. So let me actually go ahead and modify the weather, and I will show you how it behaves in rough seas with wind and rain. We'll leave fog low so we can try and see. Right now we're at 75%. And we're moving to the side of... or we're moving along the waves rather than with the waves or against the waves. So this fare is alright, it does pretty well. If a wave does get over you and it does fill up your air intake, you do have your little emergency pump, which will get all the water out of the system, and you can just restart your generator. You do have quite a bit of fuel, but like I said before, you have a limited range. It's not the best vehicle for all situations. It's just kind of my first vehicle back in the game. I did also forget to mention we do have lights, little floodlights there attached to the side front. They do work. They're alright. They're not the best. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the rough seas, because I think we get an idea of how well it fares. And we're going to go ahead and head back home real quick. Now, steering is one thing that's a little bit finicky with this creation. It does use tank drive, like I've said. At times, the tank steering can be really, really hard, really, really slow. But at other times, it can be really fast and really hard to control. So you do have to kind of play with it a little bit to get it to go where you want it to. That is kind of the big thing I need to improve if I ever do a creation like this again. So let's just kind of putt along and head back. Alright, and we're ready to come up on the beach. And there our wheels touched, and we're out of the water and back up on land. So overall, I'm really happy with it. It's really fun to just kind of play with. Like I said, not the most efficient, not the best. It does have off-road tires on it, so it can do okay in off-road and rocky situations. The tank driving can be really finicky, trying to maneuver your way up rocks and cliffs. I want to try it here, but I can't promise that I'm going to be very successful. If I do make a dedicated rock crawler at some point, it is going to need some sort of like APC style steering, because tank steering is not the best for situations like this, because I'm having a really rough time trying to control this. And the steering is being very slow and unresponsive, because if I set up my steering to be any more sensitive, it likes to just spin on a dime and go wherever it feels like. This way I at least have some control, but it is still really sluggish to turn. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it up this. I might be able to make it up another rock face, maybe the one behind me. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to get up this. Come on, go in reverse. Oh, duh, I have my trim set really high. That might explain why I'm having issues. Don't flip, fucking piece of shit. There we go, my trim's set at 0 now. Let's try this again, shall we? And there you can see the neutral steering I was talking about earlier. Come on. Come on. There we go. Up we go. Up we go. Come on. There we go. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. I kind of don't want to go down this. Stop. Stop, please. I most certainly would have destroyed myself if I went over that cliff. So, yeah. I think that's really all there is to show. I've shown it off-road. I've shown it just driving on normal land. I've shown it in water. It's overall just a very versatile exploration vehicle, is really all it is. So, once again, I'm happy with it. It works. It did its job, but not the best vehicle overall. I am going to end it here, so if you did... Actually... yeah, I am going to end it here. So, if you did enjoy, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe. It helps out a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most. So, if you do want to help the channel, please share this episode with a friend. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. And until next time, peace.